I get called a hacker all the time because of my aim. So today I'm going to teach you how to hit shots like these.
How do you want to go jump down on
What?
No, bro. I just got landed on the hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about aim training. I don't know how many of you guys do aim training. Have you guys ever done like aim training? Aim training is massive. My aim has gotten much better since I started aim training. Who's on PC here?
I am.
Demon Addict, only one on PC. Okay.
And Reese.
Oh, Reese is also on PC. Fantastic. So we have 2 PC players. Now what you guys can do is you can use AimLab. It is massively helpful. It's also free on Steam, so I highly recommend doing that. I'm sure if you've watched any of my streams, you've seen me use it. There's a lot of like different modes and stuff like that that you can use on there. If you can't do that for any reason, like say you're on console, the best thing you can do is to go ahead and hop into like Plunder and drop on storage, right? So you'll hop in, you'll drop on storage, and you'll go absolutely wild. Just, you know, before the game starts, just hop in and try and aim for the chest to the head. Okay, that's your goal. This is what perfecting your aim in game can look like. They didn't stand a chance. In there, one shot, one shot, one shot. Knocked one. We got 3 people up there. Knocked 2.
One's back up.
Last guy. Last guy, one.
Got him.
Down one.
Jump out. The next thing is crosshair placements. I don't know how much you guys know about like crosshair placements. When you're running, where should your crosshair be?
Oh, centered. Not looking at the ground or the sky.
Right. When a lot of people, and the reason why is because when you buy a monitor, the monitor's down below you. I don't know what it is about like monitor stands, but they're always like super low. So for some reason, when you're looking down at your monitor, which by the way is bad for your neck and will give you headache, you also look down in the game like this or like this. And what you always want to do is like bring up your aim to where it's parallel with the ground. That way you're staying chest ahead, and it'll basically help you in most situations. That way, if you're running straight, you don't have to go from down to up to try and aim at them, because a lot of the times you're gonna overshoot, which is not great. So you always want to make sure that you're trying to stay like parallel. That way all you have to do is aim down instead of trying to re-aim. It's like one thing if you have to go side to side, but it's another thing if you have to go like up quite a bit. Notice my crosshair placement in this clip. Since I was already chest height, I only had to focus on tracking left and right rather than all 4 directions. The next thing is peeking out of cover. This is actually one of my favorite things. When you're behind the cover, what you want to do is say there's someone with a sniper like way back here shooting at you, right? So they pop some shots at you. You have to like get like cover because you know that they're going to continue to shoot at you, but you actually have the advantage because you have the cover with like head glitches and stuff like that. So all you have to do is when you're behind the cover, bounce back up, but you know where they're at. So take a mental picture when you come back up and already have your crosshair placed where they're going to be. So you just adjust your crosshair to always stay on their body, and like you just take a mental picture as to where they're at. That is massive, especially when you're using a sniper. It's going to be hugely helpful. This is a perfect example of how I was able to use the rock as cover while staying on target with the enemies we were fighting. I'm going down here. Oh, I'm not going down. I knocked 2. The next thing is lead time. Now this one's a little bit different and we're gonna have to really go over it in game, but I'm gonna let you guys kind of try and figure it out here. Obviously you're not gonna be able to see hit markers and things like that, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about leading shots. So every gun, if you guys don't know, has a different lead time, and the reason why is because different attachments, different like velocity on their bullets and stuff like that, it makes it to where it's so difficult to keep all the lead time the exact same. What you want to do is, first of all, you can look up sites like TV Warzone, and you will be able to figure out your lead time on tons of different snipers. You can see the lead time on pretty much every single sniper that's in the game, and marksman rifle that's like you use it long distance, so like Car 98K and the Swiss. So I highly recommend using websites like that if you just can't figure it out on your own and adjust very quickly. But when you're leading, it's always best to try to adjust mid shot. You guys all stand like right here. I'm gonna run from here over to there. And what I want you guys to do is, as I'm running, try and shoot at me and adjust your lead to where the bullets are hitting because of the bullet velocity. You ready? Yep, there we go. There we go. We like that. So all it comes down to, and this will obviously be better whenever you're using like regular guns in the game, is just adjusting mid shot. If you are missing, like say you're shooting like literally I'm right here and you're shooting right here. All you have to do is just adjust that depending on the distance and it'll be better. It's something that just comes with times. This clip was pulled from a previous video because it showed lead time perfectly. Notice how I missed the first few shots, but I'm adapting to the lead time to hit one heck of a bow shot on a moving helicopter. Got it. So, should your sensitivity in Warzone be higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower.
High, a little bit higher.
A little bit higher. So, it's basically slapped down the middle, but in Warzone, if you're on controller, you want it a little bit higher. If you're on mouse and keyboard, you want it a little bit lower. And the reason why is obviously on mouse and keyboard, you can use your whole arm. It looks like I like have a really high sensitivity. I actually compared to a lot of people on mouse and keyboard, like they do this and it flicks all the way back around behind them because they use their wrist. I use my whole arm. So technically my sensitivity on mouse and keyboard is actually super low. What I recommend is personally on controller, I use like a 5 to a 6 sensitivity. And then I use like a 0.75 for like the ADS on my my low sensitivity, and then on the high sensitivity, which is snipers, I use a 1, which kind of keeps it even across the board. And the reason why is just because I feel like I need to be able to hit flicks whenever I'm sniping at people. But on mouse and keyboard, I keep everything low, so I'll have it at a 0.5 on both high zoom and low zoom sensitivity, and that's what I have to recommend to you guys. So if you have an issue where, like, let's say Reese over here is trying to turn towards someone, but they're always overshooting. They keep doing that over and over. The reason why is because your sensitivity is slightly too high. If you're not on target, it's because your sensitivity is too high and you need to lower it just a little bit. That's what I would recommend, is lowering it just a little bit and figure out where the sweet spot is for you. Try and pay attention to what your sensitivity is. Don't change it. Are you kidding me? Don't change it too often. Kind of try and find something that you like, and just like I said earlier, train your sensitivity, train your aim in Aim Lab if you're on PC, or just in Plunder if you are not on PC and you can't get Steam. Sick. Okay. Here you can see just how many hours I've put into aim training based on how I'm switching quickly between targets to help my recruits finish off the fight. I think we're good, but just in case. We got one guy coming my way.
Guy in the car.
Got another guy right here.
Good.
Oh, guy down here. I switched guns on accident.
Okay, so movement paired with aim. Those of you on controller, do you have like a Scuff or Elite or anything like that?
I use a PS5 controller.
If you're not on a controller that has back paddles, you're going to end up at a disadvantage versus the people that have it. And the reason why is that you have to take your fingers off of the analog stick to aim. So whenever you're playing, you always want to try and pair your movement, like sliding and stuff like that, with your aim. So I can turn while like running and jumping and sliding, and it's pretty easy for me. But if you don't have these back paddles on controller, it's going to be pretty difficult. If you don't have them, I highly recommend trying to play claw. But whenever you're trying to aim at people, strafing and jumping is going to be king, as long as you can keep your eye on the target. And whenever you're doing this aim training, I recommend trying to do some modes that help you do stuff like that. So like jumping and stuff like that. You want to be constantly just like keeping your eye perfectly on the target while you're moving. And the last thing is always move. Always move. Don't stand still. I mean, this is like a movement based thing, but don't stand still whenever you're trying to like shoot at someone. If you're caught in a gunfight, if you're just standing there shooting at them like this, it's going to be really easy for them to kill you because all they have to do is move up to your head while you're standing still. But if you're moving and you're like bouncing and stuff like that and like laying down, going prone, strafing, it's so much better. Also, we're gonna die in just a second, but it's so much better, and I highly recommend that you do stuff like that.
This is a great example of using movement and aim to outplay the enemy. As I slide around the corner, I'm already lining up the shot and immediately moving into a jumping shot to prevent the enemy from getting a clear shot on my head.
Good kill, baby. Controller versus mouse and keyboard. Aim assist on controller is massive, especially when you're on PC, and there's a good reason for that. Controller has a huge advantage whenever it comes to aim assist because it's not only going to follow the enemy for you to a certain extent, but it's also going to become sticky once you've actually like locked on to the enemy. Like you find the enemy, if you hover over the enemy's body, it'll kind of hold it there for you even when you're shooting. So it's easier to kind of control your recoil and things like that. Let's talk about recoil controls. Recoil control is for the most part learned per weapon. And the reason why is because every single weapon has a different recoil control. But it's also the reason that everyone thinks that like pro players and streamers are like cheating or whatever because there's no recoil on their guns. No, they just learn the recoil of the weapons that they use all the time. Like say, like a lot of these guns don't even have recoil, like the Krig. All you do is just pull down. But some of them have an actual pattern. So what you want to do is you can go into multiplayer, you can hop into, you can hop in plunder and stuff like that. And you can look at the pattern for yourself, or you can go the easy route and actually just look up on truegamedata.com. He has all the weapons on there so that you can see all the recoil patterns with all the attachments. It's actually super crazy that he has all this stuff on there. So big ups to him on that because it's a ton of work to do stuff like that. And on the flip side, you do have guns that are just going to suck. It's that simple. You will always have weapons that just suck. The M60's trash. It is awful. It is always going to have bad recoil and it just bounces over and over and over. No matter how much you pull down, like I always run out of room whenever I'm using that weapon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the recoil of the weapons, the pattern. So just look at where the bullets go. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to like adjust recoil or anything. So that's the AMP. It's just all it is up and to the left, and then it continues to go up. So super simple. The next one is going to be the MG82. It is up and to the right and then back to the center. So you'll see right here, it just like goes up to the right and back to the center. All you have to do to make sure that it stays in the same spot is it's going to go up. So you pull down, and then it's going to go to the right. So you pull left just a little bit, and then it's going to go back to the center. So you just kind of hold it right where it was. So you just shoot over and over in the same spot and just adjust the aim as it goes. So notice how I was able to keep all of that in the exact same spot.
As we finish off this game, you'll notice just how well I'm able to control the recoil of any weapon I'm using. Practice, 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 and make sure to check out my link to AimLab in the description of the video. I promise you won't regret it. Thanks to AimLab for sponsoring this video.
Oh, guys flying in.
There's two on top of IHOP.
Helicopter's gonna blow. Helicopter's gonna blow.
Up the hill.
Oh, it's a full team. I'm going down here. Oh, I'm not going down. I knocked two. I knocked two.
What?
Oh, nice try, Reese.
We're good.
Nice job.
Hold on. Can you get your cover over here? Can you come over here?
Coming.
2v2.
You might die. I don't know. That was worth. You have no plates, I'm assuming? I'm moving low. Tossing a muni. Got one. Let's go, Reese!
GG.
Are you kidding me, Reese? If you found this video helpful, you may enjoy our last Warzone Bootcamp video focused on the best Warzone setting. Make sure to subscribe for more Warzone Bootcamp.
Reese dropped 13. I dropped 23. Demon Addict with 4 and Elite with 4. Good game, boys.